After our cruise crossed the Arctic Circle in the Norwegian fjords, we continued to journey north in pursuit of the midnight sun. On the fourth day at noon, we arrived at the famous Trollfjord. Trollfjord is a tranquil and secluded fjord located within the Lofoten Islands. Our cruise carefully navigated into the fjord, which has a narrow entrance, measuring only 100 meters in width, with a length of approximately 3 kilometers, surrounded by steep mountains. Along the way, the peaks rose high, the water glistened like a mirror, and the green hills were reflected in the calm waters. At the end of the fjord, it became so narrow that the cruise ship had to make a 180-degree turn to exit the fjord. On the afternoon of the fourth day, our cruise ship arrived at the third port of call, Stockmarken. Stockmarken is located at approximately 68.56 degrees north latitude and has a population of over 3,000 people. This is the birthplace of the cruise company we are traveling with, Hurtigruten. Over 120 years ago, Richard With founded Hurtigruten right here in Stockmarken. Upon our arrival at the pier, a modern Hurtigruten museum immediately caught our attention. A full-sized ship is enclosed within a large glass structure. The museum houses a carefully restored retired ship of the company, MS Finnmarken. We followed a guide to explore the ship's bridge, kitchen, engine room, restaurant, and cabins, learning about the changes and growth of the company's ships over the past 120 years. We took a sightseeing bus to explore the attractions around Stockmarken. First, we arrived at the Vestgen Islands and visited the old trading post of Genestad, which was closed in 1982 and is now open to tourists during the summer. Next, we visited Hadsel Church, a red wooden church built in 1824 and one of Norway's 5 octagonal churches. Then, we went to the Norwegian Fishing Museum in Melbu. The museum is located inside a herring factory on the Melbu breakwater. One of the abandoned fish oil tanks is named the Royal Neptune Hall and is used for concerts due to its excellent acoustics. We had a unique solo concert inside the enormous dark fish oil tank, which provided a wonderful audio experience. We also participated in the Sea Eagle and Wildlife Tour. We boarded a speedboat to venture around the Vestgen Islands to observe wild animals. We put on life jackets and got ready. The speedboat raced at an exhilarating speed towards the waters around the Vestgen Islands. Upon reaching the area where sea eagles are often seen, the staff repeatedly threw fish bait into the air to attract the sea eagles. Although we saw sea eagles, the scene we had hoped for, where eagles catch fish, did not occur. Next, we visited the Salmon marine aquaculture farm in the nearby waters, Josti and Albert. This marine farm, owned by the Nordkapp Aquaculture Group, is the largest salmon marine aquaculture farm in the world. It is the first to use a fixed fish farming system with a rotating tower mooring system, relocating salmon farming from nearshore to deep offshore waters. During daily operations, the device can rotate 360 degrees around the tower, accelerating seawater exchange and improving the aquaculture environment. After touring the marine farm, we returned to the port, concluding our trip in Stockmarken. On the morning of the fifth day, our cruise ship arrived at the fourth port of call, Tromso. Tromso is located at 69.38 degrees north latitude, with a population of approximately 80,000 people, making it the northernmost city in the world with a population of over 20,000. As a result, many institutions in Tromso claim to be the northernmost in the world, such as the Northernmost University, Northernmost Brewery, Northernmost Aquarium, and so on. The Arctic Cathedral of Tromso was built in 1965. The cathedral is the first landmark building that comes into view when entering Tromso from the sea. We explored the largest city within the Arctic Circle in Norway by walking along the main street, Storgata. Tromso city center boasts the largest number of old wooden houses in northern Norway. Tromso Cathedral, a yellow wooden cathedral, is the northernmost Protestant cathedral in the world. It is one of the largest wooden churches in Norway. Tromso's historical landmark, the Tromso Music Pavilion, with a sculpture of King Haakon VII of Norway in front of it. Tromso City Public Library, designed as a modern building with 4 arches that create a double parabolic shape. The MS Polsjørne Museum, displaying the best preserved Norwegian seal hunting ship, the MS Polsjørne. Polaria Aquarium is the northernmost aquarium in the world. Our journey concluded with a meal at a Vietnamese restaurant, where we enjoyed Vietnamese cuisine. Our cruise ship left Tromso and entered the waters of the nearby Lingan Jord. This is the renowned birthplace of Lingan shrimps. The clear and cold waters of Lingan Jord contribute to the slow growth of these shrimps, giving them a unique quality and flavor. The shrimps are naturally red, have a firm and elastic texture, and a sweet yet slightly salty taste. The cruise ship brought aboard fresh Lingan shrimps to treat everyone. The staff showed us how to enjoy Lingan shrimps at their best. When in Norway, you must not miss the opportunity to taste Lingan shrimps. They are truly the best textured shrimps I have ever eaten. The cruise continued its journey north through the waters of Lingan Jord. On the morning of the 6th day, our cruise ship arrived at the 5th port of call, Honningsvåg. Honningsvåg is located at 71 degrees north latitude and is the northernmost city on the Norwegian mainland. With a population of around 2,000 people, it was granted city status in 1996 and remains one of the smallest cities in Norway. The island where Honningsvåg is situated, Maeroa, is the northernmost major island in Norway. The northernmost point on the island is also the northernmost point in Norway, excluding the Svalbard Archipelago. The island is barren and stark, covered in tundra, with only a few small patches of artificially planted mountain birch trees. There are no natural trees on the island, and it features steep coastal cliffs and striking mountain landscapes inland. Our itinerary for the day was packed, but unfortunately, the weather was not great. First, we took a tour bus for the Arctic adventure to Sarnes to participate in the king crab experience, where we got to taste the locally grown king crab. On the way, we passed by a gas station, and the guide humorously mentioned that it had the cheapest and most expensive fuel prices on the island because it was the only gas station on Maeroa. Upon reaching Sarnes, the staff showed us how to correctly handle and capture king crabs, as well as provided information on their distribution, anatomy, and history. These king crabs originally came from the Soviet Union, and now they are thriving here. The staff also explained how fish is traditionally preserved through drying on the island. The unique cone-shaped king crab restaurant here was quite an experience. Despite it being summer, they needed to light a fire for warmth. We enjoyed a meal of fresh king crab served with bread, lemon, and hollandaise sauce, a distinctive Nordic-style king crab meal. After a satisfying meal, we continued on our way and passed by this small island. A bridge is exposed during low tide, but you need to take a boat to enter during high tide. We arrived at Kmoiver. Kmoiver is a very Norwegian small fishing village. The entire fishing village consists of just a few dozen small wooden houses, nestled against the mountains and by the water. A row of boats is quietly moored in the water, creating dappled reflections. Across from the fishing village, there is an endless expanse of the sea, surrounded by towering mountains, simple and serene, isolated from the world. The green mountains, blue waters, and colorful houses complement each other, creating a fairy tale-like landscape. A small hotel occupies 3 blue buildings at the center of the village. The exhibition at the Gallery East of the Sun in the village center is very impressive. We strolled through the fishing village, enjoying the beautiful scenery and tranquility, reluctant to leave. Leaving Kmoiver, we headed to the North Cape scenic area. Along the way, we passed Trollfjord, which is an aurora viewing parking area. It's an excellent spot for watching the northern lights in winter and the midnight sun in summer. If the weather is good, you might even see whales in the fjord. Today, with thick fog, the view from Trollfjord has its own unique charm. Subsequently, we arrived at Nordkapp, located at approximately 71.3 degrees north latitude. Nordkapp is a 307-meter high cliff with an almost vertical drop that extends into the sea. Although the true northernmost point of the European mainland is Kinnarodden, which is also on the same island, Nordkapp is the northernmost tourist attraction on the European continent. In 1553, the English explorer Richard Chancellor, while attempting to find a sea route through the Northeast Passage, sailed past Nordkapp, giving it its first fame. An iconic globe monument stands at the top of the cliff. On a clear day, you can gaze out at the sea from the towering cliffs, which is the view we were hoping to see. Unfortunately, the weather today was not cooperating, and we made our way forward in near-zero visibility. On this barren and desolate cliff, we captured the image of the lonely globe monument. We took shelter from the howling sea winds in the Nordkapp Hall, where we explored various exhibitions in the hall and the underground areas. Leaving Honningsvåg behind, our cruise sailed into the Barents Sea, heading towards our next destination, the Svalbard Archipelago.